And here we have the condemned one. Yeah.
On top, the threads are not even in, they're just messed up. But I don't know where they get this stuff from. 'Cause this is like you can take that out from there.
Yeah. So you did this side?
Get all of that. What's that one?
Good. Man, how can I forget a whole ass ladder? Alright guys, so that was fairly simple, a nice way to start our Monday. Had an easy day today, love it. So they called us on a water leak for that reach-in. I actually went and cleared the drain out the other day just in case, because I could not find water. And when I looked underneath, it looked like it was only in that corner. But it's actually coming from a garbage disposal down the line there. Now we looked at it, and we're just gonna give the plumber that work. It's a copper line, and you guys saw how big that was. It has a hole in it, and I guess engineering tried to patch it with that little piece of rubber on there. Ice machine has an issue with that little compartment that I showed you that came apart, so we're gonna replace that whole piece, because my dad stopped by and he told me that it's happened a while back, and that we're actually looking to get that part in because it won't catch anymore. So that's a little box dispenser thing where the ice goes through and then hits the bin. So we're gonna get that going for them. I was able to put it back together. Got another tight spot with that Klein ratchet that I love, and then you know, we'll go back with that part and get that going. Right now it's working. They're happy. We're good. And right now we're going to look at a AC unit that we're gonna replace. I just don't know where we're at. But yeah, we're gonna look at an AC unit. All right, never mind. I will bring you guys back tomorrow. The place is a storage unit. Our customer bought their own equipment and they decided to store it at the storage unit here. That's only open till 3. We are at 3:30, so we just missed it. I didn't know they had weird hours, bank hours, whatever you want to call it. And they don't open till 9 a.m. So we're gonna have to come back tomorrow around 9 and deal with that. But yeah, we're gonna replace a train unit. They bought a train unit. I hope that's actually what we came for. Make sure that they bought the same one. If they bought a different brand, because they mentioned a curb adapter, that's gonna suck. But unfortunately, they're closed. So we're gonna come tomorrow. I'll bring you guys along. We'll look at the unit, and then we're gonna install it probably the next day or something like that. And I'll show you guys that. It's just a quick change out. But easy Monday. So on the ice machine, they had complained that it stopped making ice, and they told me to look at the bin because it looked like there was moisture and like water in there. But if an ice machine hasn't been working for a while and it's low on ice, it's gonna start melting and they're gonna have a lot of condensation in there. So that's not usually a big issue. That's why a lot of ice machines have like an auger, like for like the ones that are fountain drinks that have the ice machine in it. They have an auger or whatever it's called that moves all the ice around constantly on a timer, because once that ice sits there for a while, it starts, melting a little bit, especially when the ice level is low. When it's full, it's not bad, but the bottom still will melt and kind of clump up together. So that's why you got to have it either used often or moved around. So there was a water around the top of the unit, but once I opened it up, there was ice obviously just falling there and not going in the bin. So then when that melts, there's water there. So not a big deal. Like I said, we're gonna get them that part, get that all fixed up. I don't even know how to take apart that unit. That's a new Follett ice machine. We actually used to work on a lot of Folletts, but I've never seen that brand or that model. That must be one of their newer ones. And then we weren't the ones that installed it, so I think they got a whole bunch of new units at one point, and I think they were trying to use somebody else. And obviously we didn't get to put in these units, but they have us servicing them, so we'll work on it. And then the other one was just a water leak. It's not always the AC or refrigeration equipment. Sometimes it's plumbing. You got to make sure where your water's coming from. So they'll get that taken care of through a plumber. We're not going to deal with that. And I'll be back when we got to look at the unit.
I'm not gonna take what it says, right? Well, my question is, why they went so big?
Alright guys, so we saw those units. They are pretty huge, to be honest. They're a newer style, so it needs a curb adapter, I guess. I'm gonna go drive out to the location. It's about 2 hours away. I'm not charging for this. I don't have any other work out there. But today I'm gonna go around and look at actually more than one location, but they're all on that side, so it's not that bad. And make sure I get all my measurements right. I'm gonna look to see if there's anything else that could pop up, like an issue. Take a look at the electrical, make sure we have all our breakers and everything set for us to go in there and swap out what we need to do. So that's just from experience. It's better to go and have all these Like I said, measurements, all a list of stuff that we need to watch out for, look out for, things that we might need to get an electrician to go out there before we start the work. All that is just from experience, you know. So when we started, you know, our company and all that, we did a lot of installs and change outs, and we never took into account the things that could pop up, or we never looked at the whole picture. We kind of just got the unit that we needed and try to put it in, and it took us way longer than it should have. We would lose money on like hours, and we would spend all day changing out a condenser or something, because I mean we were just inexperienced at that point, to where now I kind of have that experience. I know what's going to come up. I know what issues could come up. You still run into problems regardless, you know, weird stuff can happen, but for the most part we're better prepared. And our change outs, we don't really do complete installations, but our change outs, swaps and all that, half a day, a couple hours, we're in and out. We're very efficient now. So like I said, today I know the importance to go out there and make sure that everything's right, make sure that curb adapter is correct for what we have there. Take a look at, because one of our guys said that the label was rubbed off, so he didn't give me the information. Obviously somebody had the information to order the new unit, but the customer ordered it. So I'm gonna go verify. Of course, if the label outside is rubbed off, open up. There's usually more labels inside. You can get a model number, and if anything, I can get the information off the compressors. It's a 2-stage train unit, so the new one is a 12.5 ton. We're gonna make sure that matches up, and I'm gonna take a look at the electrical, make sure, see if we have to run it a little longer or something, because like I said, the new unit's bigger, so I'm just gonna make sure I can get as much information as I can on this trip. And then after this, I'm gonna go look at a walk-in freezer that we're gonna change out. So same thing, I'm gonna make sure that we have a dedicated breaker, because it's an old system. More than likely I'm gonna have to get the electrician out there, but hopefully we luck out if anything, and then take measurements, make sure the new one sits in right and all that. So just gonna prep today for some projects we have coming up. And you guys are gonna get a treat. If you don't follow me on social media, which you should, if you follow me on Instagram, TikTok, I've already posted this location. So like I said, you're in for a treat. We had to condemn it. It's tarped off. There's holes in the unit. There's makeup air units toppled over. None of that's been addressed yet. We are going to take care of this one. And like I noticed that they purchased 2 units, so I'm assuming maybe they got a deal on it or something. They already bought the next unit, because they're all going to need to be replaced, but we're only going to do one probably next week. So stay tuned and you can see what issues they have. Sheesh, look at that. Here's our condemned unit. Let's take a look inside. God damn, I had not seen this one. Sheesh. Alright, so the only issue we have here is that the curb adapter over there is way bigger than this curb itself. So I don't know, they must have tried to measure it themselves and estimate it or something, so I don't think that's going to be the right curb adapter. So they might have to wait again. Of course, we're going to need a new disconnect and everything, rewire this. I didn't even check. I'm not sure if they ordered gas or electric. I'll double check that. Let's close this back up. And like I said, this was a makeup air unit that had toppled over. I guess they finally had somebody. I didn't come out here, so I don't know who did. remove it, clean it up, and then they just put a panel over it so that it won't rain inside. So there was a makeup air rusted out. This middle one is a newer one. It was put in a while back. It's been a few years, but that one's fine for now. This is the kitchen. This is the one that I said basically these little pillars on the end are non-existent anymore. They're broken. Hail guard completely disintegrated. Other pillar, one hail guard still up. So I think they ordered this one too. That middle one is new, but it's already rusting out too. So I need to measure this. I'm not sure what's going on with the curb adapters, but this one is starting to mess up as well. So you can see through it. Obviously, that's never going to work properly with as far as drawing the air through the coil. You're essentially drawing air through the opening. So that's also getting changed out at whenever we have time, whenever they get the curb adapter. I need to measure the equipment because the new ones look a lot bigger. All right, so on both units, I'm just getting a quick measure of the curb itself. You know, the base here that, you know, comes up the curb, and the curb adapter that they currently have, and they ordered a new one, which I think is way bigger. So I don't want gaps here, so I'm going to make sure we correct that, get the right one. And I don't know what the hell this is doing here. Make sure I note what we need for the disconnect, amperage, take note of where the wiring is located, where the box is located, where our thermostat wire is. This one ran out through the curb adapter, and as you can see, this one has a gap as well. So taking notes. I think we're gonna have to get a different curb adapter. They ordered one that is like 6 inches way too big. All right, I got this tip from Northwest HVAC, I believe. Can't read the label, it's all white. There you go. 30 amp, 240 volt. And if you need any more, read it out. All right, so that's the one we're working on. This is actually the new one. I said it was only a few years old, and we gotta watch out. We're gonna have to start coating maybe the floors and some of the sides over here on the outside, as well as the coil. The coil was coated by somebody else and it's doing fine. It looks still pristine, but I think they even coated the dryers. That's another source of rusting out, is going to be the dryers. They leak over here by the coast because they will rust out on either end. So they coated the coils, and they coated, I think, the dryers and some of the lines. So yeah, you can see that the lines are all kind of like shiny. We also need to coat maybe the floor in here and the outside areas where it tends to rust. And this curb adapter is rusting out too, but that one you can tell was reused. All right, so I went ahead and took measurements on this unit and the other unit that we most likely are going to be replacing. They are identical. They are the same unit. We're going to get this sorted out, and we'll be back, you know, once we have everything. I'll show you guys the finished product, make sure we do everything correctly, neatly, not half-assed. So we'll be back when we have everything. So Somebody's in trouble. So I got the model off that one. There's a 120 in the model off the middle one and the other one. They're all the same exact unit. I didn't even realize that they were all the same. They are 10-ton units. Somebody ordered a 12-ton or 12.5-ton for that one, and they ordered two when we need two 10-ton units. And that's why the curb adapter, I think, is all screwed up and everything. I don't know if they ordered for a different location or what, but those are not going in. So I don't know who screwed up. They didn't ask us to come out and verify anything. We were just verifying it because they're like, hey, we got it in. When are you gonna go put it in? When are you gonna install it? So we're like, let's go look at it, make sure it's the right one, because we did not order it. So shit happens.